Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another talk today about Columbo fan walking and talking Columbo episodes. This one I would like to talk about one of my favorite episodes, and it's one that has the boy genius in it. He has his own lab in a what do they call it? Kind of not a think tank, Institute of Geniuses or something. And his name happens to be Stephen Spellberg, not Spielberg, Spellberg. I mean, the episode had nothing to do with Steven Spielberg, but I don't know. I guess it was giving. By this time, probably Spielberg had made some films, and maybe they wanted to just give him a shout out. He was like the actual first director of season 1, episode 1, right? The Murder by the Book, I think it was called. But this one is a kind of pays homage to him, but in a different way. But so this Stephen Spellberg, boy genius, is in this what do you call it? It's not a think tank. It's an institute for geniuses who do all kinds of research, right? And it's really just a side story to the main story, but he plays heavily into the plot because the boy supposedly created a robot. They used the old Lost in Space robot, and I think double M7 or something. Double M1 stands for Mickey Mouse, and now they were on version 7 of the robot. Oh shoot, low battery. Let's see how long I can go. But anyway, supposedly this robot can do anything a human could do. It's got no fingers, but it's got these metal clamps that can supposedly tie on a keyboard. It just goes like this on the keyboard. But anyways, the guy that's the director of this joint has a son, and he's getting a Nobel Prize or some prize for his genius in something or other. But he's a fraud. He's a fraud because the guy he stole his molecular something formula. He stole it from his coworker who just happened to die several months earlier. So this opportunist son is going to take credit for it, and his dad is all for it, you know. So, but there's this other scientist in the place says that's not your son. He says he should not accept that award, and if he does, I will expose him, because your son's a great computer guy, but that molecular theory, blah blah blah, is not his. It's the work of the dead professor, blah blah blah, that used to work there. So there's this old professor, and says he's going to expose the director, right? So the director arranges on a night that they've got to work in the office, do war games, and blah blah blah. He programs this Lost in Space computer to be able, robot, to be able to handle his job, so he can go off and you know, 30 minutes or whatever to drive over to this guy's house and kill him, right? And run him down with a car. And then he realized when he gets to the parking lot that when he ran this fellow down, it left a dent in the car. So he's, oh boy, what am I gonna do? So he tries to cover up that, and he purposely runs into another car, a fleet car, in the parking lot. Oh my heavens, I can't handle these transmissions and blah blah. And so he gets, you know, he purposely had this fender bender to hide the evidence that he used one of those cars, the company cars, to run down the professor. And it's just a great episode. It's funny on so many levels, but this old professor that was killed, he's got this young wife, and she is, I don't know her name, but she's still acting today in Arrested Development, I think. Is that the one, or what was the other one that Park and Recreation? I can't remember which one, but she's still acting and has a main role in one of that series that I don't watch, but I've seen it maybe a couple of times. But anyways, this is back in the 70s, right? So, anyways, it's just a great one. Everybody keeps mistaking her as her husband's daughter. It's just, Columbo goes in there and says, "Now, your father was killed. Were you here when it?" Oh, that's my husband. He's like 40 years older than her. There seems to be a lot of that theme in a lot of these Columbo episodes, where an old man marries a young woman, and apparently Peter Falk did the same thing and divorced his longtime wife and married one of his co-stars in that series, the woman that's in the restaurant murder series, the poisoning of the wine. But anyways, there's a lot of interesting themes that run through these shows, but it's great. He does some great detective work, and you know, scuff on the body, even though it was run out. The guy was run over in the driveway. His body was transported, and at the time he left a shoe polish scuff on one of the doors about waist high. And Columbo says, "No, that struggle that happened in the house was probably staged, and that body was carried in there, and blah blah blah." And it was so funny. At the very end, ultimately, the first thing that sets Columbo notices a match on the inside the house and the match was burned, you know, almost to the end of the match, because, as he says, that's how cigar smokers burn matches. It takes quite a long time to light a cigar, so it burns down the match. So he says, boy, at the very end when he catches him, he said, "Well, how did you do? What tipped you off?" And he said, I knew right away that I was looking for a cigar smoker. I couldn't give a hoot and a holler about this or that. I was looking for a cigar smoker, and there you were at the scene of the crime, smoking these fancy cigars. And even offered one to Columbo, and Columbo took one. He says, "I'll smoke it later." It's a very good scene. And I noticed there's a stairway in it's just a strange thing I noticed. At the closing scene, at that stairwell scene is a Get Smart. Is it Get Smart? Dun 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 dun. In the opening credits for the Get Smart with that stairwell. And then there's some other Columbo scenes in other episodes. Oh, the the Cabaret of Magic, or whatever it's called, where he plays the magician. Down in the bottom of the cabaret, they use that scene, that same basement, same stairwell. It's just, I said, oh wow, that looks familiar. You know, when Get Smart, when he's walking through all those doors, open and close automatically, and walking through this, looks like a top secret, you know, underground facility. That is the same darn scene, in Columbo. So, anyways, it's a fun episode, and oh, man, the son. Columbo has to, at the end, has to kind of frame the son to get to the dad, because he knew the dad did it, but he pretends to be ready to nail the son for all kinds of things. He has a guy come in and pretend to say, I recognize him in the hotel. Him and the old man's wife would check into the hotel. He got him to lie, but that man is a liar. But anyways, so he whisks off the son like he's taking him to jail, and all the while, Columbo's just trying to get at the dad, because he knows the dad loves his son so much. He will do anything for him, and he's not going to let his son go to jail. So he confesses to the crime. It's a good kind of a ploy that Columbo sets up these things, and you know, sometimes I don't know if they legally are doable, but make for a good plot. He squeezes the father and acts like he's gonna, you know, pin the murder on the son, and the father confesses. It's a really good episode. So that was a good one. Oh, and just 12 minutes. We're probably getting near the end of my battery, so I'm going to sign off. Thank you very much. That would have been Columbo Fan Walk and Talk 6, I believe. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this stuff. Bye-bye.